Back. This is flip lesson number 4 for Mr. Terry. We're talking all about notable dictators and emperors of the Roman Empire. So, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the one that most everybody already knows about is, of course, Julius Caesar. He was elected as a consul in 59 BC. He wanted, though, to rule all Roman lands. He was not a fan of being just a small chink in the chain. He wanted to be in charge of it all. He wanted to, he formed an army and he captured a new province called Gaul, which is actually located in current-day France. He became governor of Gaul and watched Rome very closely. He was looking for his opportunity to come in. In 49 BC, he returned to Rome and a civil war broke out. Now, after 3 years of war, Caesar was appointed a dictator for 10 years. Now, remember, how long is a dictator supposed to serve for in the Roman army? Exactly, 6 months. Good job. And this, of course, is a bust of the Julius Caesar. Now, Julius Caesar keeps going, though. He was a strong leader. He improved people's lives of even the plebeians. He made laws to help the poor, and he also created a lot of new jobs. And he gave citizenship to more people. He actually extended it to women as well. In 44 BC, though, Caesar is going to be appointed dictator for life because the people loved him so much. Now, who's going to get jealous if Julius Caesar is dictator for life? That's right, the Senate is going to get jealous of it. So, the senators feared that he was going to make himself king, and Caesar was stabbed to death on the way to the Senate, in the street, by 7 of his other friends over 15 times. It was turned into a play, actually, by William Shakespeare called The Ides of March. Another civil war is going to break out for control after Caesar's death. So, now the Roman Empire continued, though. Caesar's grandnephew, Octavian, is going to become dictator in 27 BC. And he's going to change his name, though, to Augustus, meaning respected one. Augustus was probably the most beneficial emperor for the entirety of Rome because he started this. It's called the Pax Romana. It means Roman peace. There was peace all over Rome for over 200 years. This is very important when you're talking about an ancient empire. So, he is also, Augustus was the first true emperor of Rome. So Julius Caesar technically wasn't even an emperor. He was a dictator. But Augustus will be considered the first true emperor of Rome. This is a statue of Augustus right here. It's one of the best-known surviving statues of him. It shows his power, his military prestige, and it really shines a light on how good of a leader he was. Now, under the leadership of Augustus, the following things are going to be accomplished. Number 1, laws are going to be passed giving citizens more rights. Romans are also going to be the first people ever to take what's called a census. Now, a census is a head count, okay? It's a count of everybody in the country. Romans wanted to know, under Augustus, how many people they had in their empire, what types of people they were, and also just how we're going to stay sustainable as a government. Now, he also hired a professional army. That means armies that got what? Paid. Good job. They divided them into large groups called legions, okay? Remember, legions are 5,000 people. Now, roads are going to be built. New government buildings like basilicas, temples, and libraries, and even public baths are going to be installed as well. Now, he had one other major accomplishment. He created the aqueduct system. An aqueduct is a system of carrying water from place to place. It's kind of like Mesopotamian irrigation, except it all has to do with elevation. You take water from a high mountaintop, you keep it at a steady grade all the way down. That creates an aqueduct like this one. Now, the next guy we're going to talk about, he is probably the dumbest emperor out of all of them. His name is Nero. Nero was the adopted nephew of his great uncle, Emperor Claudius. Actually, funnily enough, though, his mother poisoned his uncle so Nero could take the throne. He took the throne in 54 AD, and he had a passion to race horses and to race his chariot. He used tax money to build a fantastic new place for himself, and also, he made his horse his most trusted advisor. So dumb. Also, you can tell right here that he was a mama's boy because this coin up here in the top left-hand side, that's his mama and him on his coin. All right, let's go back. There it is. Now, the last guy is Marcus Aurelius, my favorite emperor of all. Marcus Aurelius ruled from 161 to 180 AD, and he brought Rome to its height when he destroyed the Germanic tribes. Rome was at its largest underneath Marcus Aurelius. He was extremely intelligent, and he was best known as the Philosopher King. he was succeeded and possibly killed by his own son, Commodus, who was an absolute jerk. Commodus was obsessed with the gladiators. He was obsessed with the Colosseum. He actually had 160 straight days of games after his father was killed. Now, he's actually going to also compete. He's going to be the very first emperor gladiator. However, he was also the biggest pansy about it as well. He would have people stabbed before he started fighting them so they would be weak. He would have lions drugged so he could actually kill them easier. He would even have lions chained down. He would actually have kill several of them in one day, trying to show how big and bad he was. And if he ever had a sculpture made of him, he always had it made so it looked like Hercules because he was that cocky. Now however, Marcus Aurelius co-ruled with his cousin Lucius. This is very important because he was actually willing as an emperor to share power. That is going to affect our government today because all three of our branches of government do what as well? That's right. They share their power. So thanks for coming back again. I look forward to reading these in your notes tomorrow. I will be checking these for a grade. Y'all have a good evening.